So really quick TLDR of how the cards in Epic work. So basically, the resource system in Epic is really kind of interesting and elegant and sweet, and a simple with kind of some with simple but still has some depth to it in an interesting way. So basically, you'll see here, these are the cards in my deck here on the right side. There's two different card types in the game. The first are the champions, which are kind of like the troops or creatures. These are the things that attack and block. And then there's events. These are basically like your spell cards. They have an effect and then they go away. You'll notice if we look at a card here, left click, yeah. If we look at a card here, this is a champion card. There's 3 pieces of information on this card. There's the attack and the defense, and then in the upper right-hand corner, there's a cost on this card. All of the cards in Epic cost either 1 resource or 0 resources, which is kind of interesting, and it's kind of unique to compared to how other card games manage the resource systems. There aren't resources in the deck every turn cycle, so on your turn you get a 1 gold coin point resource, and then when you pass to your opponent's turn, your gold coin replenishes on their turn. So cards that play out at instant speed in this game are kind of valuable because your 1 coin that you get to spend every turn replenishes on your opponent's turn. And there's also much weaker, like 0 cost cards. This card doesn't cost any resources, and you can play these out. I always learn best by just like playing, so I think we're just gonna dive into a game here in a second. One of my buddies is gonna, one of the guys I've been playing with online is going to message me and send the challenge when they're ready. Jeff's gone full casual. This game seems sweet. I just, I like exploring different things. We're waiting for the Lasgar's Vengeance ban to happen in Hex, so I like a lot of these cards are modal too, so you get to make lots of decisions with that. So like this Fireball card, for instance, this is an event, so you can play this on my turn or their turn, and it costs 0 resources to play and does 3 damage to something, or you can upgrade it and use it as your 1 resource coin thing for the turn, and then it does 3 damage to a player in every card they control. So it's either a free card or it could upgrade it to like a more powerful card. It's another good... Is Drakefire? Yeah, so this card, again, events you can play on their turn too. So this card does 5 damage to each champion and player, or if I'm spending this on my turn, so I'm not using it as instant, basically, it just does 5 damage to them and I get to draw a card. So these guys have, I've heard a lot of good things about this game from a lot of other Magic players, like Sam Black and Adrian Sullivan speak very highly of it, Jerry Thompson. So I haven't actually played this game in paper, but I backed the digital, and I've been playing PokeGuard at the alpha for the last 2. You said there were cards that were do something / split. I don't think I actually have any of the split divinations in this deck, do I? Okay, here's a split divination, actually. This is Amnesia. So banish, and you can see here, I love the client here. It has all the keywords. It's like you click on banish here, and it says a banished card is put onto the bottom of its owner's deck. And then it has the keyword recycle here, which says when you play this card, if you want, you can put 2 cards from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck, and if you do, draw a card. So you can either play this for free, or you can upgrade it to a pay 1, draw 2 cards. I haven't actually played Star Realms, but I've heard good things about that one too. So the game's in closed alpha right now, so there's some rough spots. So my buddy's finishing up something, and he's gonna send me a challenge here to play some constructed. Click through some of the other cards here. So this deck's kind of, I've called it tempo burn. It's kind of a tempo-esque. The sci-fi deck builder with actual combat, you're killing each other instead of just farming victory points. It's neat. So I mentioned the cards that are quick have a little bit more power to them. So the champions that have the keyword ambush here, you can play these on your opponent's turn. So this card is a little bit more powerful than if it didn't have ambush, because I can play it on my opponent's turn as well. Yeah, it sounds awesome, General. If you want to send me a challenge, my username is just Jeff Hoagland everywhere. I think I need to click into online play to see challenges. Oop, oop. Why does the pyromancer make one? She lights things on fire. So one of the things, the thing that people always ask is what are the sales models of these new games? Another thing that I really kind of like about the idea behind Epic is both their physical game and their online model for the digital client are going to follow what's called a living card game system, where basically you pay one which is really a small amount of money compared to playing a TCG, and then you own every card in the game. Click on in here. So when the game starts, each player has 30 life, and you get a 5-card starting hand here. How mulligans work is you get to do a partial mulligan, and for every one of the cards that you want to mulligan, it says here at the top, you lose a life for each card that you mulligan. So Wave of Transformation, this is kind of a sweeper type card, and the same thing with these Drake Fires. So I definitely don't want 3 sweepers in my opener, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these Drake Fires back, I think. Take 2 new ones. And you can see here on each side of the table, this little gold coin represents whether or not the users use their coin for the turn. Muses, and you can see where my opponent is on the play here, and Muse is actually a great card to have in our opener when our opponent's on the play, because it has ambush, so I can play it on their turn, sorry. At the start of my turn, I get to draw an additional card. So my opponent's passed to me, and one of the things that's really kind of neat about this game is that the turn sequencing is kind of fluid. So I want to play this Muse during my opponent's end of turn before it comes back to my turn, so I get a chance to draw another card. But by doing this, by doing something during their end of turn, we actually come back to my opponent's what they call their main phase, where they get a chance to play their cards again, because I've interacted with them on their turn, so we kind of restart the turn cycle. So then they played a Wolf event card here. You can click back and see that it puts a wolf into play, which is a 2/2, and it deals 2 damage to something. So they killed my Muse. I'm gonna go ahead and play this Wave of Transformation just so I can use my coin here for the turn and draw 2 cards, I think. And again, now that I did something during my opponent's turn, they get a chance to go back to their turn and spend their 1 coin doing something here. They played a Lessons Learned to draw 2 cards as well. And then we came back to my turn. I think I'm going to play this Time Bender as ambush, though, so I could do it on their turn if I want. I guess I'll just play my Knights. The Shadows doesn't ambush, so it's a 9/4 that's unblockable, and Tribute means this is an effect that it gets when it comes into play. But I will draw a card, my opponent will discard a card. So I'll go ahead and play my 9/4 out. So even though you can do things on your opponent's turn in this game, unlike games like Magic or Hex, there isn't a priority-based system where my opponent gets a chance to respond to this card. Basically, when I say I'm done doing things for the turn, my opponent then gets a chance to do things during my end of turn. So they played a card called Surprise Attacker, which I actually have in my deck too, which lets them draw a card and then put a champion from their hand into play. And they put a 3/2 out here that lets them put another champion into play, and they got a Medusa here. And Medusa says loyalty 2, and it comes into play, break target champion. So someone just asked, how do the colors work in this game? So there's 4, I think they call them factions in this game, and the loyalty system is actually kind of shows how the mechanics in this game work. So this card has a mechanic called Loyalty 2, and what Loyalty 2 does is, when this comes into play, they have to reveal cards from their hand that are the same faction of this to get this extra effect. So basically, some of the more powerful cards in this game reward you for staying in less factions by giving you access to their loyalty ability. But outside of the loyalty abilities, there aren't any strict requirements, I don't believe, about which cards you can include together in your deck. So now here, my opponent's attacking with this 3/2. So the combat in this game works similar to Magic, but a little bit differently. So my opponent declares attackers, and I get a chance to, like, block their troops, and then they deal damage to each other in the same way you expect coming from Magic or Hex. But my opponent can attack with all of their champions individually. So right now they're just attacking with this 3/2, and they will later attack with the 6/8 most likely. So I'm gonna go ahead and battle pass here, which just says I don't have anything I want to do while this thing's attacking. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the 3 here. So because of the way the priority system works is there aren't traditional like counter spells or interrupts in Epic. There's a lot of the cards that you respond with allow you to play to the board better, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this surprise attack here before blockers are declared. And what surprise attack is, it lets me draw a card and then lets me put a troop from my hand into play here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in my Alara the Lithomancer. And Alara the Lithomancer has 2 triggers when she comes into play. The first is that she puts a wolf token into play, so I'm going to choose to have that happen. And the second is she has a loyalty ability to give herself Blitz, which means I can activate her activated ability right away. So I'm going to reveal... So I have to reveal 2 cards from my hand to give her this loyalty ability. So I'm going to reveal Lessons Learned and my Knight of the Shadows here. My opponent sees these cards. And now, when I have a chance to do things, I basically get to do all of my things before my opponent has a chance to respond to them right away. So I've put my card into play, and now I get a chance to activate this before my opponent can do anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this to turn my opponent's 6/8 into a wolf. So basically, it's no longer attacking, it goes on the bottom of their deck, and it gets replaced by a 2/2. And this card can activate every turn to turn one of my opponent's cards into a 2/2. Which is good with cards like Fireball, because this card can spend my coin to deal 3 damage to the thing. Do things have haste? So Blitz is a keyword that's basically haste. They can attack and activate the turn you play them. So this card I was able to give it Blitz by using the loyalty mechanic by revealing 2 cards from my hand. My opponent... And if you ever see something happen here, like, it's asking me to discard a card, it's like, okay, what happened here? So I can click here and go to the game log and see my opponent did what? My opponent played Final Task. I can click here and see what Final Task is. Final Task, they put a champion from any discard into play under their control and gave it Blitz, and then they break it at the end of turn. So they put my Knight into play, which makes me discard a card. What card do I want to discard here? Kind of want the Fireball. I guess Kong's not doing a whole lot. Tribute deal 13 to something. Have been Kong here. This 9/4 gets to attack here. It's unblockable. Any plans to do draft? We're gonna play constructed for a little bit. I don't know if we're gonna draft tonight or not. We'll see. Go down to 16 here. And at the end of the turn, this is going to get broken, which I believe means it goes back to the discard pile. And so now, this 2/2, so I can go ahead and click through from their attack step. Then during the blocks, I can go ahead and have my wolf block their wolf. Then they'll trade in combat here. It's possible I should just take that 2 if I'm planning to Fireball next turn. Opponent's end of turn, so let's go ahead and pass to my turn. I think I'm just going to leave the Lithomancer up. I don't really want to attack with her because she can turn something into a wolf. I'm going to play my Knight of the Shadow out here, which makes them discard a card and we draw a card. And then, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pass the turn back to them again, not attacking with my 6/5 because not only could they play a champion out of their own, but I want to save her to activate to make something into a wolf token potentially on their side. Heinous Feast. Gain 1 life for each champion card in target player's discard pile. Banish that discard pile. Sure. And again now, because my opponent did something on my end of turn, they also played a Muse here. I get a chance to do stuff. So the Muse is the card that lets them draw an extra card every turn. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and play this Fireball as just a single damage target and kill their Muse so they don't draw an extra card with it. Go ahead and pass back to them. Not planning to play Magic tonight. We're gonna play some Magic tomorrow morning as my normal Magic stream schedule. So we're kind of taking hits here in the air by this. I could turn this into a wolf with the Lithomancer and then block this with the 9/4. I'd rather just take the 3 for now. User life total is a bit of a resource. My opponent could have some kind of pump for this. I think that's fine. And maybe they have a fireball or something to finish this night off. And you can see they actually support double queuing in this game, so we could jump into a second game right now if we wanted. Deal 2 damage to each opposing champion. Well, that's kind of a tilt. So that's going to finish off my knight there. And when it comes into play, it also creates 2 demon tokens, which are 4/4s. Thankfully, my time bender here is going to be pretty good. So time bender has ambush, and I gave it loyalty to blitz it. And what this is able to do is I can banish a 0-cost card. So I'm going to go ahead and banish this demon. I'm going to use her to transform the 6/6 into a wolf. And then at the end of the turn, I'm going to go ahead and play this Muse card out. And then try and pass to my turn. And again, because I did stuff during my opponent's end of turn, they get a chance to play cards here. So like if they have a removal spell for the Muse, they could potentially kill this before I get a chance to draw cards with it. To be fair, Larinax, I think there's less going on in this game than Hex, so it's probably a little bit easier to follow if you're new. They had a way to kill the Muse. Unquenchable Thirst deals X+1 damage to something, and they have to kill it. So I'm gonna go ahead and play my Misguide Herald. It's a 3/2. When it comes into play, it puts a card from the top of a champion from the top 5 cards in my deck into play. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to trigger the loyalty on this Juggernaut because I don't have 2 siege cards in my hand, the blue cards. So one of the things it takes getting used to in this game, especially coming from priority-based games like Magic and Hex, is that you want to use effects like this Time Bender's effect as soon as possible in the game a lot of the time, because when my opponent gets priority, if they have a way to kill this, I'm not going to be able to activate this in response and kill their thing. You kind of want to get in while they get into good. This card has Blitz, and it has Unbreakable on my turn, and Unbreakable basically says it's indestructible on my turn, so it just gets the slam on in there. Probably going to see a jump block with the 2/2, especially since the Time Bender can just kill the 2/2 anyways. The Epic is in there. This is an alpha version of the client right now. They funded it on Kickstarter, and the Kickstarters have early access to it. It currently has the base game and then the Tyrant set in it. I'm still trying to get a feel for like how far ahead I am or behind in a given game at any point, because like we're definitely ahead on the board right now, right? But I don't actually know like how far ahead we are in the board. We're definitely behind in hit points, so I want to be a little bit conservative and like trade these 3/2s for sure right now. And my opponent has 6 cards in their hand to our 2 cards right now, but card advantage weighs a little bit differently in this game as opposed to something like Magic, because you can only play one cost card as you go back and forth. Having a lot of extra cards in your hand doesn't necessarily indicate that you're in a good spot, especially if you're behind on board at a given point. Alright, so my opponent had a deal 9 to target champion, gain 9 life, and they need to do that on their turn because otherwise this was going to be unbreakable on my turn. I think, so this Lessons Learned card has 2 modes on it. It can either draw 2 cards or it can replay an event from my discard pile. I think I'd rather just draw 2 cards. So none of the event, like I could surprise attack here and like put the Kong into play, but I feel like I need to generate some card advantage here. We're definitely behind in terms of like cards in hand on each side here. Flip Shark's okay. It's a dome something for 8. Thought Plucker's pretty good. So this card has Ambush, and it's unblockable. It's a 1/1. And when it comes into play, they discard a card and we draw a card. And when it damages my opponent, they discard a card and we draw a card. So I'm just going to go ahead and banish this wolf. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and play this Thought Plucker now. It gives me a chance to use my gold for the turn. I really don't want to play Kong because this deals 13 damage something, so I kind of want to wait till my opponent puts something worth killing into play. And again, I don't want to attack with my 6/5 here because they could play an ambush troop, and I also kind of want to save her to activate her effect. Like she's kind of keeping my opponent's board in check because she can turn things into 2/2s. And they have a Medusa here, so probably going to see them break my 6/5 here, so I can't turn their Medusa into a 2/2. Yep. And now, again, because my opponent played a card on my turn, we come back to my main phase and I get a chance to play this Force Mage Apprentice. Do I want to play this out? This is an 0/1, but it activates to deal 2 damage to something. It's probably fine. Let's get this in now. What's going on, Jin? Yeah, this is Epic's digital alpha client. So Epic is a paper card game that they kickstarted to fund a digital build of their game. So this is one of their early alpha builds. So you're gonna attack by the 6/8 here. I think I could just play the... Yeah, I think I want to just play the Pyromancer here. So I'm going to play the Pyromancer out. And when this comes into play, it gets to deal 4 damage to something. So we'll kill the Demon Token. And then I can go ahead and just... My 5/7 will bounce with their 6/8 here. Yeah, it definitely has a couple of rough edges, but it seems pretty functional so far. And I've been enjoying the actual gameplay of it. So, expecting a few random client quirks as we're playing with alpha software and they're still working on developing things, but I've been enjoying learning Epic as a card game for sure. Yeah, my hand are the cards down here at the bottom. They are encroaching a little bit on my game board. I'm also playing at kind of an awkward resolution, so that might be part of it too. The other way I have my thing set up so it captures what I want it to capture. My resolution isn't 100% standard. Ooh, Arcane Research is really good. This card banishes this card and any number of cards from my discard pile. For every card banished this way, we get to reveal a card from the top of our deck. Well, it's not even just a wine thing, it's a I want a window capture thing for streaming. So Arcane Research, I get to banish some number of cards. I don't want to banish all of the cards from my discard pile because I want to leave some to get recycle effects on later. So that should give me plenty of time. So I get to look at a bunch of cards here and pick my favorite. See what I said? With the Unix jokes. He's got yokes. Right. I want to grab here. I kind of want another Pyromancer. You are untargetable, draw 2 cards. Yeah, I think I want the Pyromancer here, because she can come down on my opponent's turn. Let's see if I get to hit them with the Thought Plucker here or not. If the Thought Plucker connects, they have to discard a card and we draw a card. Pretty good chance this dies. A lot of the removal in this game deals at least 1 damage. Steal it all away from you now. Yeah. Did 3 damage to Rooney there. And then I guess we're just going to go ahead and play Kong out here. So Kong's going to come into play and he's going to 13 the Medusa. And then, again, you want to be kind of proactive with how you use these things, because if my opponent has a chance to kill it, I'm not going to get a chance to respond to that. And then, because my opponent still has their gold up here, I'm not going to attack with my 5/7. I want to just pass the turn. There's a good chance they could ambush in a troop that could kill this. A surprise attack, so they just put in a... discard a card. So they have the 9/4 unblockable. So I'm going to bin this Flame Strike, because this Pyromancer can kill this. This card's actually not particularly great against us right now, because this Pyromancer can also just deal 4 damage at will. So we've mostly run out of cards at this point, but we're pretty far ahead on board. So I'm going to put this new Pyromancer into play here. Shoot that. This is unblockable. And we are at 13, so it's not irrelevant. We're taking 2 here. We might be dead here. They had a card that returned their card to play. They have a blitz to activate and deal. Yeah. Alright, well, we died. Alright. Let's accept this. Let's play some dragons. No, I'm not planning to play Magic tonight. We're gonna play some Magic tomorrow morning. So, what's my opening hand here? White Dragon, Divine Judgment. Probably don't need a sweeper and removal in my opener. I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan the sweeper. Again, you can mulligan any number of cards and you just lose a life for each card you mulligan. What is this? This is Epic's Digital Alpha. So we're gonna go ahead and play my Gold Dragon here, which is my 1 coin for the turn. This is Airborne and Blitz, and it gives all my good champions, which are the gold colored cards, Righteousness, which is basically lifelink. Let's go ahead and attack with this Darko. Epic is a paper living card game, so as opposed to trading card games where you buy booster packs and get cards randomly inserted into your booster packs, this has the living card game model is basically you buy a box set and it gives you a play set of every card in that set, which is kind of nice. You know, there's definitely a lot of Gold Dragon has better art than, yeah, you're not wrong. All right, so Urgent Messengers here. Let's be draw 2 cards and it creates 2 human tokens, which a couple of these cards don't have the right reminder text. Like, I wish I could know what a human token was, because, like, if I didn't know, I'd have no way of knowing that. But human tokens are 1/1s. So we go ahead and do that. Yeah, it's definitely, I like, in addition to, so that was the other thing too, like a lot of the digital card games that exist, like I'm okay and I don't mind the gameplay in them, but at the same time, I like getting cards for them is like kind of miserable. We just want to get this game. So this is currently in alpha, but you can buy early alpha access to, you can buy early alpha access here. You could also buy the physical card game that's obviously not in alpha. It's been out for a little while in paper. So they've got a 13-14. So the Forced Exile could take this out, and it gives me 2 human tokens afterwards. I have 2 cards in my discard pile. I think I'm going to go ahead and Forced Exile this. I get to choose between drawing 2 cards or banishing a champion. So I'm going to go ahead and banish the Kong Man here. And then White Dragon is a 5/5 that costs 0, so I can play this out even though I've played a card for the turn. And it has Tribute, so when it enters play, if I played a 1-cost good card this turn, I get to recycle, which I did. So I go ahead and do that, and recycle takes 2 cards from my discard pile and puts them on the bottom of my deck, and then I get to draw a card. Go ahead and pass the turn here. And my opponent still has a coin here, so they're likely going to play something on my end of turn. So they did Wolf Bite here, which deals 2 damage to one of my dorks. And it lets them recycle, so they're going to draw a card from this too. And they played a card that let them draw 2 cards. And again, if you ever miss what happens, there's a game log here that we can scroll through and look at what they did. They played Zombie Apocalypse to draw 2 cards. The resource in this game, and that's like the biggest hurdle, like learning a new game, is like trying to get a feel for like what cards are really good and what cards are just like average, like based on how the resource system works out. Okay, so the opponents ended their turn, so I definitely want to do something during their end step here. Okay, what is this and how can I play it? So this is Epic's digital alpha. To get into the closed alpha, you do have to purchase something to get into the closed alpha. And I'm not selling something, I just kickstarted the game and I've been enjoying playing it, so I decided to stream it. But the digital version is going to follow their living card game model too. So like if you buy that alpha, you're going to have the base game and the first 3 sets that you can draft as much as you want with and play as much constructed as you want with to start. So anywho, so I have a Pyromancer and I have a Starfang Dragon. So the dragon deals 5 damage to something with loyalty 2 when it comes into play. I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Pyromancer here though, and I'm going to shoot their wolf down. When this comes into play, it deals 4 to something. I'm going to go ahead and pass to myself here. So my next turn is going to be a good example of how the combat system in Epic works, because even though you declare attackers and then there's blockers, you do declare the attackers and blockers one at a time. So like I'm going to attack with my White Dragon and my Pyromancer, but I'm going to attack with my White Dragon and then attack with my Pyromancer. Yeah, the computer version is on Steam. It's also on Android. And what's kind of sweet too is the way the games work out, there's no timer going right now. I could actually pause this game and pick it back up later. And my opponent would have to wait as well, obviously. But like I could like take this game that I'm playing right now on my computer and continue playing it on my phone. Like if I was just playing on my computer, I need to like walk away for some reason, I could continue playing this game on my phone. So the fact that like I can start on my computer and like pick up and move to my phone is like really awesome. And this is their alpha version that has, you know, minor bugs and issues. Like I can't imagine what kind of awesome ideas they have for like the full non-alpha version. Like, so I attacked, they didn't block. I'm gonna go ahead and ship the Pyromancer in here. And you can see I could use my coin to deal 4, but I think I just want to go ahead and attack here. They do have a coin of their own still, so they could flash something into block here if it is ambush. They're just bouncing with their wolf. That's fine. So, Brachiosaurus is kind of a sweet card. Well, there is a real-time option as well, Jay. So, the mode... Yep, if you don't... they have to manually add you to the alpha. The thing on their website says it takes up to 5 days at most. So my buddy that just bought it, or one of the subs that bought it, said it took them a little bit less than a day to get access to it. But yeah, as soon as you buy it, within up to 5 days, they'll have you added. So Brachiosaurus kind of lets you cheat on the resource system. It gives us an extra coin, but that extra coin can only be spent to play wild cards. Because of the way I've sequenced on that, though, I can't actually give this loyalty 2 to deal 5 damage. I think I'm still going to play this out. and go ahead and attack because it has Blitz, but I didn't get the 5 points of damage kicker that I could have gotten if I would have had the loyalty from this. And again, someone was asking earlier how the colors in this game work. Because I have these good cards in my hand that aren't all wild, I wasn't able to activate the tribute on here. My opponent's Medusa. This is a card my last opponent played as well. It has loyalty to. It gets to break a champion, which puts it in my discard pile. Angel of Mercy is kind of a sweet card. This is a 4/5 with Airborne and Ambush. And at the start of my turn, it takes another good champion from my discard pile and puts it into play. So it generates a lot of value. Huh. So they played a card that returned my troop to my hand. The resource system in this game is very unique. You'll see all of the cards only cost 1 or 0. And you get 1 coin resource that replenishes every single turn. So I don't think I want to flash, like I could flash in this Pyromancer and block this, but I think I want to try and get this Angel of Mercy down here so that way I can return my Gold Dragon back to play. It's kind of draw one, play one, because there's also 0 cost cards, right? And there's other cards that generate small amounts of card advantage. Like this card here draws 2 cards, or it can destroy everything in play. Yeah, the game has a lot of play to it, and the combat system adds a lot of play and depth to it, and the way how when my opponent does something, I then get to do something. This is on mobile. They are still in alpha, so there's some rough edges here. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a bug or two before the end of the night, but I've been enjoying playing the game. I've played a couple games, so my Angel of Mercy is going to bring back my Gold Dragon here. And this gives all of my good champions righteousness, so I'm going to gain some health when they deal damage to my opponents. I'm going to start by attacking with my Gold Dragon. Hopefully he connects, because we're a little bit low on life here. That's gross. What was that? Zombie Apocalypse. Break all champions, then each player gets a zombie token for each champion in their discard pile. Hey Mew! Thanks for the legacy content. I love the posts and Tron videos, especially posts. Love the bug post videos. I'm coming back to post with a similar list. Hope to see you more playing that deck on stream. Yeah, I will definitely be playing more of that post list. I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying that deck a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the Brachiosaurus out here, which gives me an extra resource for just a wild card, which lets me play my Triceratops, which is just a 10/10 with Breakthrough, and Breakthrough is basically Trample or Crush, and it draws a card when it comes into play. And then these things all just came into play this turn, so they can't attack, so I'll just go ahead and pass. And what was it you get? What was it get when you buy access? X Malakia with the very, very generous $24.99 a month subscription. Thank you very much for that insane level of support. I really appreciate that. Subscribers are the reason I am able to do what I do here, so thank you. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Half off. It is September. Half off all first month subscribers this month. So my opponent played this Dorko, which lets them draw 2 cards. This card deals 2 damage to each champion, each player. Huh. So I could do this, but like I have more zombies than they do, so I don't think I really want to do this. I think I'm just gonna play this Pyromancer out and shoot their 2/1 that's unblockable. Another Brachiosaurus. I'm gonna start by attacking with my 10/10. No, questions are good. I wouldn't stream new card games if I didn't want to answer questions about them. So like, believe me, I've been playing this game off and on since Sunday or Monday. I gotta feel for it off stream. See what they got here. They have 6 cards in their hand, so I have to imagine they have something to get in here. That's pretty good. So they returned this thing to play. And it's going to go away at end of turn, but when this comes into play, it gets to banish something. So I assume they're going to get rid of my 10-10 here. They get rid of the 8-12. That's interesting. Oh, they're probably going to block here, right? This game does have a paper version. All right, so they're blocking with all of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my Pyromancer to shoot down the zombie token. And then they don't have enough power to kill my Brachiosaur. They're not going to take any damage this turn, but my Brachiosaur is also going to live, so that's fine. Their zombie token's gone. My Triceratops lives. Sorry, this is my Triceratops, not my Brachiosaur. They killed my Brachiosaur. So they already used their 1-cost gold for the turn. Yeah, but I believe this game released in paper in 2015. So I'm going to get some hits in here. I think I want to leave some of my zombie tokens back. So that way, if they have a blitz troop I can block. Well, that's unfortunate. That's no longer an option. All right, I guess I should have attacked. And that's why there's a lot of sequencing decisions in this game, because I probably should have attacked with my zombie tokens first there, because if I see that they're going to kill my zombies, I would have been able to leave my Pyromancer back. So they played a destroy all the dorks, break all the champions. Yeah, I'm mostly out of gas here, and they just played a sweeper, so I don't need a sweeper. So I'm going to play my Divine Judgment to draw 2 cards, gas up here a little bit. I do not have a discount code or anything like that for this game. It's just the they are not sponsoring this stream in any sort of way. I was just enjoying playing this game, so I decided to go ahead and stream it a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and play my Brachiosaurus, which gives me another resource explicitly to play a wild card. Then the Raging T-Rex here is kind of great. It's a 12-10 that has to attack each turn, but if you have Loyalty, it draws 2 cards. So let's go ahead and show you Fire Spirit and Flash Fire, and then I'll draw 2 cards. Sweet. My Raging T-Rex drew another Raging T-Rex. And like this card just seems absurdly powerful, right? Like, being able to cheat on resource in this game seems like something that's like really good when everyone's only doing like 1 thing a turn a lot of the time. Yep, yeah, no worries, doesn't hurt to ask. All right, well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this Ambusher out. They're getting pretty far ahead on board here. And again, there's a lot of sweepers in this game. So like a lot of things that read like kill everything in play. So I don't want to extend too much into play, but at the same time, like putting more Raging T-Rexes into play just draws more cards. So it doesn't really seem that bad. Start by attacking with the Raging T-Rex because he has to attack every turn. So they're putting a surprise attack in here. We'll see what they play out. Probably something that's going to eat my Raging T-Rex. But like, again, that's not a huge deal because like the Raging T-Rex drew 2 cards when it came into play. This is a living card game. It's a unique model. So basically, you buy a box set and you just get everything that the game has to offer. All right, so they created this and they gave it Brave Squire, which gives it +5 and Unbreakable. So yeah, it is going to get to gobble up my Raging T-Rex here. It's a little unfortunate. I've been who I am. I'll take the second chance. And then, yeah, and then like as someone who's like played a lot of CCGs and TCGs, like it's kind of nice to like not get squeezed on that end, right? So I think I want to leave my Draka Enforcer back to block their Avenging Angel here. Unfortunately, I can't kill this turn. When this attacks, it deals 3 damage to each of the defending player's champions. I feel like I almost want to play this Dragon Tyrant and leave it back. I could also play the Raging T-Rex and like hope to draw another ambush card. That doesn't seem terrible. I think I want to just do that. I'm going to play the Raging T-Rex and hope to draw something with ambush, which we did. Sweet. And I'm going to attack with the Brachiosaur because their unbreakable card is already blocked for the turn, so I can't block again. You win by reducing your opponent's health total to 0. So we each start with 30 life. And you can see my opponent's been gaining some life. They're at 39. And then, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pass here. I want to leave this back to block their 6/6 flyer. So there's 4 factions in this game, and how they kind of, you're not limited in how you're able to combine the factions in your deck, but the cards, encourage you to stay within particular factions through these loyalty abilities. So this loyalty ability, this card is better, it draws me a card when it comes into play if I can show you 2 wild cards out of my hand when I play it. That's annoying. They played another one of the things that gave it invincible. I guess I'm just chumping with the 7/7, right? If they can't take 11, I'll die. This is their attack step, so I gotta move to blockers here. I guess I could flash this in and deal 5 damage to something. I'm just gonna jump with the 7/7. Well, this says righteous. This is how they're getting life. Righteousness is like life drain. That card's actually not bad for us because we have this Draka Dragon Tyrant, which is going to be able to deal 3 damage to each of their things when it attacks. So I'm going to go ahead and at the end of their turn, when did this go into alpha? Earlier this summer, I believe, like May or June, maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and play surprise attack here. That lets me draw a card. Oh man. Oh man. I'm actually gonna put this Angel of Mercy into play. Am I gonna put the Angel of Mercy into play? That's actually tough. So Angel of Mercy has ambush, so I don't get value by putting out the surprise attack, but they've already used their 1 coin for the turn. And that means that this is going to get to bring my gold dragon back. Yeah, I think I'm going to put the Angel of Mercy into play here. Because then we're going to start my turn. And I'm going to go ahead and get my gold dragon back. And my gold dragon gives my good troops righteousness, which is going to let me buffer my life total a little bit. Yep, you purchase, it's a one-time purchase, and then you have a playset of every card in the game, and you can draft as much as you want with that purchase as well. And then every time an expansion releases, I think they said their estimated cost of expansion is going to be like $5 or so. That is true, we can't attack while it's expended, but I have a Kong to deal 13 damage to this. What'd they do? Sure. It's been a pretty good game so far. I would love to bring my gold dragon back to play. Thank you. Huh. I can actually bring the other Angel of Mercy back, but I think I want the gold dragon for now. And then it's 2 damage. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play Kong out here. Oh, huh. They have a lot of things with 2 defense, right? So I could play this Strafing Dragon, and it'll deal 5 to this, and then I could play Flash Fire to finish it off, but I think I'd rather Kong because the Strafing Dragon has, ambush, so I could play this on their turn. Yep, you can play with random opponents. Homegrown with the brand new Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Subscriptions are the best way you can support my content here, so welcome. And then I'm going to try and get in with this gold dragon. If it dies, the Angel of Mercy can bring it back. And if it connects, even with another troop, I'm going to get to gain 6 because it gives itself righteousness. Yeah, and like I said earlier, one of the things you really have to learn when you're playing a new game is like get a feel for what's good and what's bad, because like everything is good or bad contextually in like a format. So like if kind of like if everything's broken, nothing's broken type idea. I think I'm actually gonna play this flash fire now. Just 2 damage to each champion and each troop. So it's gonna kill most of their stuff here. And then I can go ahead and attack with this raging T-Rex. If they want to chump with this Dorko, that's fine. I'm assuming they're gonna want to chump here. Yeah. I might have wanted the fireball to finish that, but at the same time, like, I don't think, like, their life total is so high, I don't think doing that is worthwhile. This is a living card game. So not a trading card game, not a collectible card game, it's a living card game. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with this, and this is one of the things to pay attention to. My opponents already used their gold for the turn, so the chances of them being able to kill this are pretty low, and this has righteousness from my gold dragon, so I feel like this is a worthwhile attack here, because I could gain 4 points of life if this connects. What's going on, Hacky? Good evening. The deck builder, it has constructed and limited formats. So the formats that you play with this game are similar to what you would play with Magic or Hex. So we hit them, we gain 4, sweet. And I feel like we're pretty far ahead at this point. We're ahead on board. We have similar number of cards in hand to them, and we finally like stabilize our life total, so we're not going to get like cheesed out of this game by some reach or some blitz troops. You can only play one gold card per turn. So like this card costs a lot of the cards in the deck cost 1 gold, but like this fireball, for instance, it's a free card. It costs 0. Right? It's kind of funny in a way, right? Like you're so conditioned to like how expensive TCGs are that like you don't want to believe that like $20 for everything is what you have to spend. Which honestly, like this gameplay is enjoyable and like that model is kind of awesome. So I really feel like when this gets out of alpha, this game could be really popular. So my opponent spent their resource. I could flash in this Starfang Dragon and like get a little bit more ahead on the board. I guess I have this Raging T-Rex to draw more cards in the event that things go sideways. Yeah, let's be aggressive. Let's just try and end this game. So my loyalty is going to reveal the Fireball and the Fire Spirit. Done. When it comes into play, we're going to dome them for 5. We'll start my turn. My Angel of Mercy is going to bring back my other Angel of Mercy to play from my discard pile. No, by now. Can't turn back. Alright, let's start attacking. Get in there, Raging T-Rex. This dinosaur card was made in 2015. Thank you very much. Oh, jeez. There's the zombie apocalypse. Well, they have 7 and I have 13 zombies. Alright. And again, like I said, we have this Raging T-Rex. So this card says whenever I play a wild card, it deals 4 damage to my opposing champion. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just play this out here. And it draws a card. Then I'm going to go ahead and pass. I've got this Fireball to deal 3 damage to my opponent and clear all their zombies out here. So again, I feel like we're still kind of ahead here. I've been enjoying the gameplay in this game a lot, Jack. Yeah, definitely. I agree. Yeah, Fireball with gold seems very powerful. Like I said, I kind of didn't play around the sweeper there, but at the same time, we weren't really punished for not playing around the sweeper because like we were just so far ahead. Especially when the sweeper was the one that makes zombie tokens. Like this Fireball is going to clean out their zombies. The drafting in this game is actually really sweet. Yeah, we could do a draft after this constructed game is done. The drafting is 1-on-1, which is kind of interesting. And the drafting, it's easier to just show you how the drafting works as opposed to talking about it. So I'll just wait to show that. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead. Well, actually, I have this Dragon Tyrant. Do I even want? Yeah, actually, I'm just going to play the Urgent Messengers here because this Dragon Tyrant's just going to like clean up their board. I'll start my turn here. And again, because I did something on my opponent's end of turn, they get a chance to go back to their main phase and play more cards if they had another free card. So my Dragon Tyrant here's going to reveal these two, so it gains Blitz, and then when this thing attacks, it's going to go ahead and trigger and deal 3 damage. Get them out of here. Get gone, zombies. So the resource structure in this game is also very unique, just like their card distribution model. All of the cards in the game cost either 1 or 0, which sounds very arbitrary and simple when you first hear it, but there's actually a lot of depth and complexity to the game. And the resources work where your 1-point resource replenishes on their turn as well. So cards that are instants are really valuable. So, whoa, there go my zombies. All right. So this card deals 3, that's why they're playing the zombies card. It deals 3 damage to a champion and all champions with the same name as them. So my zombies went away just like their zombies went away. This has been a really good game, a lot of back and forth. So the way the game encourages you to not just play all the colors, you can actually see here, I've splashed a good card from Sage into this deck, is by the loyalty mechanic. So this card, the loyalty mechanic, says you have to have 2 other cards in your hand that are the same faction as this in order to get this bonus. I'm not sure if there's an attack with all option. Strategically, you want to attack with them one at a time, so it would take a little bit of time to do that. So I played a Kong out here. What do I want to do here? I definitely put target champion from any discard into play. Wow, that card is really good. Thankfully, Fireball kills it. I think I'm going to surprise attack in the Misguide Herald here. So surprise attack draws a card and lets me put a champion from my hand into play. And Misguide Herald's a 3/2 flyer. Then when it comes into play, I look at the top 5 cards of my deck. And then I get to put one of them into play. One of the champions into play. So I'm going to put the Fire Spirit into play here. And the Fire Spirit draws a card. So the combat system and you declare attackers and they declare blockers is similar to Magic. But the difference is you declare attackers and blockers one at a time. The starting life total is 30 on each side of the board. Tribute, you return a 1-cost champion from your discard pile to your hand. That's pretty good. So they got their Necromancer Lord back. That's kind of scary. Be still. We're going to attack with this Misguide Herald. The tribute basically means when this comes into play, do this thing. So this card draws a card when it comes into play, for instance. I think I kind of want to try and burn them out with these Fire Spirits. So I'm going to go and put this other Fire Spirit into play. And you see I have 2 triggers here, so it asks me the order that I want to do them in case it's relevant. In this case, it's not. I get to deal 4 damage to something, so I'll go ahead and kill this. Now I'm going to get to deal... Oh, these only do it to champions, so I can't burn them out, but I can kill their things. It's pretty good. I don't think I want to attack with this Fire Spirit into their Kongs. I'm just going to go ahead and pass here. We'll see what they have at my end of turn here. I agree that the name is not intuitive. The problem is, when you try and do the same names as other card games, companies like Wizards of the Coast make lawsuits. This is not by the company LSU works for. This is called, I think they're called White Wizard Games. I should be more informed on these things, but I think it's White Wizard Games. That's funny. No, LSV works for Direwolf Digital, and they make Eternal and Elder Scrolls Online, and they make Clank as far as board games go. Yeah, LSV is Eternal. Which, Eternal is one of the many cash-grabbing CCGs that exist, so... Sorry, not sorry. Are you gonna stay the night? That's a gold dragon. Yep. Man, that's a pretty big hit. I wish I would have left this back now. We could actually die here, right? The non-zero chance we end up dying here. I hate to play this urgent messengers here. I have to go ahead and chump block with one of these humans. They're gaining a bunch of life here because the dragon gives them. So I'm leaving this back to block. Surprise attack was a great draw here because it lets me put out a Kong or something big and scary on their turn, which is great. I think I want to just play the Raging T-Rex here. No, if I draw too many cards, I'm going to have to discard, right? I think I'm playing this 9/9 just like hanging back on defense here. I guess I could play Kong and shoot Kong with one of these triggers, and then I can start attacking. Yeah, that doesn't seem terrible, actually. So I'm going to deal 4 to their Kong. I'm going to deal 4 to this guy. And then I'm going to deal 13 to Kong. I'm going to attack with a couple of these, see what they do. And again, I can choose to attack one at a time. I'm not familiar with which tweet, Immortal. The night. I'm not sure I want to attack my fire spirits in necessarily, because these cards are valuable for cleaning up my opponent's board right now, which is kind of something I need to do, and they still have their gold, so they could flash an ambush troop here, so I'm going to go ahead and pass here. And the nice thing is, if my opponent, like, uses their gold to, like, draw a card or something here, then I can attack with... Okay, so they use their gold to play the 6/6 out, and now because they've played the 6/6, we loop back to my main phase, where I get to attack with these 11/9s now, and not feel bad about it because they played their 6/6 out. I'm going to attack with both of these. That's fine. Check with this. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and pass here. I want to leave this guy back to chump. I want to leave this guy back to chump just in case things go sideways here. Hopefully we don't just get burned out from 7. 7's a little bit precarious here. It's been a long game. I like how instead of making the cards really tiny and difficult to click on, they have the kind of the scroller that kind of stacks the things on the left and right side. So I could jump block here, or I could play the surprise attack and put in the Kong, and then my fire spirits can shoot down this and Kong can shoot down this. I think I'm gonna do that. Champion man into play. All right. Big bucks, no sweeper. And I guess I still have a lot of cards left over even if they have a sweeper here. And like I have a Raging T-Rex to gas up with. If it wasn't for our low life total, I'd feel really, really in control of this game. The Lasgar's Vengeance Ban goes into effect on 10 a.m. PST on Monday. We're going to be doing an extra stream starting then. with me. Put in the tank here. Hopefully this means they don't have a sweeper and we're just gonna get to like mow them down next turn. They're at 35, but our troops have a lot of power, right? Like we've got 13, and then 11 is 24, 27, 30, just like 60 points of power in play. It is legal for the bash this weekend, that is correct. I'm excited to brew with anything with Ixalan. So I really don't look at spoilers until we have a full set released. So I've like caught bits and pieces. I'm definitely interested in trying out different tempo decks, like blue-black tempo seems like it's going to be pretty good, but I haven't looked at any of the details because I want a full spoiler before I do that. No, I can't help but to hear an exchanging of words. What a beautiful wedding. Can you explain how a 13, 14 for 1 is fair? So it's kind of the mantra, if everything's... You have to stream till I'm done with the AP psychology homework, okay? I'm gonna go for an hour or two at least, probably. So it's kind of the mantra of, if everything's broken, nothing's broken. So like, this 13-4 for 1 that kills something when it comes into play, like, let's compare that to this 12-10 for 1 that draws 2 cards when it comes into play. So, like, the power level of things is all very high. Like, whether or not something's busted in half is, like, contextual on the format that it's in. How do the 1-1 fit? So the 1-1s get generated by other things, like, for instance, here, this Urgent Messengers card is where my 1-1s came from. So this card drew 2 cards, and then it put 2 1-1 humans into play. Nope, our opponent just doesn't have any cards on the board. So I assume they either had something come up here, or they're in the tank on how to get out of this kind of bad situation for them. Because we are definitely pretty far ahead here. Sans getting, like, burned or blitzed out of this game. Yeah, this game has a lot of sweepers in it. Like, a lot. Like, we can look at my opponent's discard pile here. Immortal Echoes has been playing Nerds with us for 17 months. Kind of Bamante drunk right now, but still love what you do, Jeff. Keep looking forward to spewing more money into your content. Thanks for the support of almost a year and a half. Yeah, there's a lot of interaction in this game and back and forth. Like, look at all these cards my opponent's played. So many. In Constructed, both the decks start with 60 cards. This is actually the longest Constructed game I've played so far. Marty Punker! Why does your avatar have so much hair? It seems a bit inaccurate. You actually can't pick your avatar currently. So the game is in alpha, and my avatar always looks like this, and their avatar always looks like this, so. Have you played in Paper Thumbfish? I should probably turn off my Steam notifications. So opponent has a very sad Kong of their own. They killed one of my fires. All right, start my turn. Let's try Ceratops. So this deals 4. No, the tokens work like tokens in Magic. If they would go to hand or go anywhere else, they get removed instead. I'm gonna start by attacking with Kong here and see what they do. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you have more than 7 cards in your hand, then in a turn you actually have to discard in this game. So that's something important worth noting here. They do have 1 gold up here, so they could put in something quick here to block this. Around 22. Yep, that's exactly correct, Mortal. The online client mimics the paper model. So I'll use my card to kill this. You buy the box set, and you can draft with it as much as you want, and you can just play as much constructed as you want. If you want to play multiple constructed decks, you're going to need multiple box sets, obviously, because there's only 3 of each card in the box set. But if you just want to play like draft and stuff, or you want to play constructed with no overlapping cards, you can do that. I feel like I don't want to attack with my Fire Spirit here, just because I don't want to walk it into a possible threat that they could drop in, which could be wrong. I also don't really want to nickel and dime them with these human tokens so I can chump block. Also, this deck that I'm playing right now might be terrible. It's a deck that just had I put a bunch of dragons in my deck. There's actually a card in my deck somewhere that gives all my dragons +5/+5. The 7 cards is the hand size limit. So the starting hand is 5 cards. At the end of your turn, if you have more than 7, you have to discard down to 7. Yeah. I think this is perfect for something like that, Immortal. I was actually thinking about picking it up to play with Christy, too. Yep, the maximum number of an individual card is 3. That is correct. If not, Arena is not in any kind of public or private anything, so I have not. Here now. So I actually kind of think Epic's in a neat spot when it comes to actually, and this is gonna sound, people are gonna think it's childish when I say this, but I think Epic could be easily compared to Pokemon TCG in that learning the basics of Pokemon TCG is very easy, but there's a lot of depth and complexity to playing the game properly as you go along. My opponent draws a couple of cards and then packs it in. Like we got that one. I'm going to see if they want to do a draft. All right, sweet. We're going to do a draft.